Hi, this is Aganaden, and we are going to discuss Railgods of Hysterra. Now, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible because I am frustrated. Very frustrated. I started this video a couple of times, and I now realize that I am in a state where I'm gonna say things, and I personally don't feel so happy at this very moment. But the reality is that these things happen as early access. But it's frustrating when so many things are clearly in need of revisioning. Now, that is true. The devs have been very quick to hotfix certain features that are not working right, and then adding other features going forward, and that's good. It's good to have responsive devs, and I certainly want to reward them. I want to reward them because I think that this game can be really good. But we are going to discuss it. So here we are. We are back on this train. And as you can see, all my stuff is gone. And all my stuff is gone from good. This is the second time it actually happens. All of it. Everything. Everything dropped. Why? Well, it's not that simple. I died. And it happens. And the mechanic is that when you die, you drop everything. Except for twice now. In this time I played, it just disappears. It's gone. It's not that the icon is not showing up on the actual screen. All of it is gone. It's just gone. The environment is gone. And that means all the armor that I was having, all the weapons, all the ammo, everything that I had done, all the things that I had picked up, gone. That is progress that is gone, but also material that is gone. That is the frustrating part. I loathe, with the passion of my soul, drop mechanics. For this reason. In this game, there is a mechanic here that is so frustratingly terrible that was original what I was going to talk about, but I'm going to say it here. I'm going to skip the parts of what I think about the need to adjust here in the environment, like better explanations why you are picking stuff up. Now, the worst part here is that I'm going to have to make all these items. Because I lost them. Because the game decided that when I die, this was the one time I should not be able to pick it up. It is frustrating when that happens, and I really honestly wish they wouldn't have to be that way, but it is. Now, as far as the weapon goes, I lost that too, so now I'm gonna have to make myself more weapons, like the crude bow. But I don't have enough wood sticks because, guess what? I used them up all for ammo. So, and wood to spare, I need more wood sticks. Because I can't just make sticks out of wood planks. Oh, not here. I'm going to have to separately pick that up. But guess what? I lost my axe. So it's going to be extra slow because I'm going to have to use my unlocked tentacles that can pick up stuff. Looks like I'm just getting hungrier and hungrier. It used to don't bother me how quickly you get hungry before, but now it does because it's just a very annoying feature. So let's switch over to this. So what is it that I wanted to talk about? First of all, the absolute horrid, and I gotta say it like it is, the respawn mechanics in this game. There are two features in this game that on itself is not terrible per se, but hand in hand, it just turns out to be one of the worst features, period. It just is. You could, of course, count the very small inventory, but that might be improved later on. That once you have something that you can unlock to have more inventory, so that would be awesome and good, right? Now, one of the worst features in this game right now, bar none, is the respawn mechanic. Every time I go back on the train, Everything responds. Even if I have unlocked the map, even though I found every corner of the map, everything responds. I go back on the train, go back down, gone. Now that in itself, like say, well, why can't just stay outside and all completely all the time and maybe just drop it in that the thing of storage that seems to the storage container outside your train. And that in itself sounds like a good idea. That's not a bad tactic, especially when you have unlocked so you can teleport back to the train, drop it off, go and finish. No, there's another mechanic here. Madness. In itself, that's not a bad and terrible thing. This is Cthulhu, which means people go mad because of the horrors of all the way around it. And that's their way of kind of adding a madness mechanic that I'm not against. I'm not against the mechanic itself. It fulfills its purpose of kind of illustrate that you're going bonkers. You sacrifice your madness to this brain thing on the train, and then you get your sanity back, and you slowly unlock darker gifts. All of that is cool. There's nothing wrong with it, except for two things. First, your vision turns into purple when you have enough madness. To the point you can't even see your basic map. Everything turns to purple. Minimap, everything. Not just your vision around you, everything. That means you will stumble around not being able to see anything. Now you say, well, all you have to do is just eventually when you unlock it, you can use your little teleportation thing and you're back to the train. True, you can. But in order to get rid of that madness, you need two things. Either herbal tea, which, guess what? There's a feature part of the madness where you forget what you have in your inventory. It's going to show up as this googly little eye instead of what was in the inventory right there. It can happen to your herbal tea. Your herbal tea ends up in the pouch right here. Boop, satchel. And many times you would notice that, you forgot that slot. You can't use it when you forget it. You can't just click and use it. You just simply forgot that you had it, which in itself is not a bad mechanic. But then imagine you are all the way here. You're low on ammo and all that, but you're mad as a hatter, and now you need to dump it. And you figured, I'm going to use my herbal tea. That's what I made it for. I'm going to sacrifice some of that madness points because I unlocked everything and I don't really need that feature right now. And guess what? You forgot where that slot is. So now you can't use your herbal tea. So now you're screwed. Now, technically, you could go back to your train, open in the inventory, have another. If you have a satchel slot open, you could say like, hey, I'm just going to put it in this open satchel slot, that herbal tea, and I drink it, and I'm mad at myself. But that is a hell of a lot of strategy just for a feature that should be revamped. That is not working very well. It isn't. There are a lot of different things that I could think of that would work better instead of that. First of all, the madness feature. Let's say you can never forget your herbal tea. That's one simple way of allowing you to fix it. The second, and I think that's a much better idea, is an external feature of the train where you can drain your madness directly into that thing. Let's say, yes, you go up to this thing by where you can dump off stuff in the boxes, and right there is a way for you to drain off your madness into the heart of the train. And voila, you're a better person for it. That way you don't have to go on board a train. You don't have to worry about that feature. And you have accomplished the very same thing. That is how it should be. Most likely. Much better than any wonkiness of saying you can never forget where you put your herbal tea in your inventory. That is more sustainable than as far as to the logic in the game, so to speak, and how things work. Second of all, with a spawn mechanic, that just needs to be wiped. if you are not gonna fix any other way of just remaining on a map until you're pretty much done, then it's far better to just have a mechanic where things respawn after a certain amount of time. That it only respawn back on the map as soon as you move the train. So if you happen to go back to the spot that can be respawned, I don't care. But as you explore, as you're searching through a map, having a respawn mechanic that ridiculous makes me less inclined to want to just deal with it. There's a certain amount of grind in any game. It just is. It's just part of the game itself. And sometimes you even die. Oh, now I'm starving. And I don't have anything to eat. I hate that kind of mechanics. I really do. Sorry for using the H word. That's really a bad word. But it's just, to me, the whole eating and drinking part of any game has always been terrible. And there's so much better options out there where eating and drinking just adds bonuses. I prefer that. Do I have anything here that I can eat? Not a thing. Not a thing. Sadness. Oh well. So, now everything's got to be respawning as far as... And I don't care. If they have to track every chest, every tree, everything like that, go ahead. If that only responds when you move your train or it just comes back after 2 hours and you've been away from a place, I don't care. That works for me. But this silly system of constantly have to go back, do this, go back, do this, eat. Eventually, these things becomes tedious. Really tedious. And it comes to a point where I don't really care for this. This is boring. So there you have it. If I would change anything, it would be respawn mechanics, make them better. There's so many different ideas out there for respawn mechanics that makes so much more sense. Drop mechanics. Either remove them completely or just partial. The anything that don't drop are equipment on you. Everything in your inventory can drop. If you lose that, that's just stuff that you picked up anyway. It can be detrimental at times. It can be frustrating. But seriously, all that drop mechanics and then having everything disappear on you. Now I'm just redoing equipment. Not I probably have all this in my inventory except for those sticks. But it's still a pain in the ass wasting my time doing this. I would also fix the manas to have an external thing that you can drain your manas into so you don't have to constantly leave the map. Yes, running back sucks. But on the other hand, I don't want to go on the train and then have to have everything respawn. But guess what? If you fix the respawn mechanics and everything doesn't respawn as soon as you go on the train and then get off again, then me going on the train to drain that whatever, fine too. Fix one of them. And then the limited forward. The whole weirdly limited that you can only see so far. Terrible. Terrible. Zoom out more or make you be able to tilt a little bit more forward. Because I don't want to sit there and stare at the minimap all the time. I want to explore the environment. Okay? That's really all I have to say. That's all I want to moan and groan about. Because now I'm going to have to go out and try to figure out what is going on over there. But it just feels like this is a map I shouldn't even be on at this point. I might just go and look for campsite on yellow tracks or stone circle or fragment lighthouse or whatever and just skip this place and maybe come back at some point. Yeah, that's how I feel. So you have a terrific day, terrific weekend. I hope everything works your way whenever the weekend comes and whatever life happens. And as I always say, adieu until we meet again.